a vote on it, just to push it to 2022. We didn't do that at the time. There was another member on the leasing committee who since retired from the board. So it's just a matter of housekeeping. We'll make a motion to continue the contract under its current clauses and not make any changes, and will expire in late August 30th, I believe, of 2022. Is that correct, Mike?
That is correct.
Okay. So in the form of a motion, just so we more or less ratify that and put something in writing that that contract is still in effect until that date.
I've got a question, Bill.
Yes, Bob.
Have we given any thought to reducing their rent for a few months?
Well, not really. There are other remedies for them if they choose to go down that path. Others that we really can't provide. If you really look at it, Bob, the 10 years that the contract has been in effect, nearly 10 years, about 8 years, our costs have gone up on the end of supporting their business. The heat, the maintenance, the dumpster, and all those bits that they don't have to pay as business that's rolled into their lease. So in effect, keeping it the way it is about the best, in my opinion, that we can do for them. It's a very reasonable rent.
Their rent has not gone up in that period?
Not at all, no. Even though our costs have gone up, we've absorbed the cost.
If I can step in just to augment, in answering Commissioner Irving's question, the reason for the 5-year break, and I missed it when it expired in 2017. I missed it. I'll flatly say that. And then I reached out to Vicky and Gibran, and they put their request in for the extension. It's because the base lease was for a period not to exceed, in total, 10 years, but in 2 5-year increments. And after the expiration of the first 5 years, a new document was to be executed. And at that time, the commission was to then set a new lease rate. So they're still operating under the lease rate that was established in 2012. However, there was a CPI increase probably in 2015. So they're paying actually $50 more a month than that the original rate was in 2012. So in the time period that's passed, it's only gone up by $50. So what I think Commissioner Collins is suggesting, realizing that it's a hardship, is it's not the time to raise rents, at all. And I think past practice has been this commission back in 2008, 9, and 10 worked very diligently with tenants that ran into financial difficulties, and they evaluated each one individually as the case came forward. And they also were very patient with the collection of rents. So when people fell behind. So I think what the commissioner is getting at is, let's not hurt them. Let's keep it at what it has been, not increase it. They have yet to ask for an increase, but as I've had that same discussion earlier today, we're just starting the period of time where they didn't have the outside dining, so we don't know what it's going to be like in December and January. But I think, and I won't speak for the commission, but the past practice has been, obviously you're open and receptive to listen to whatever the circumstances are. So I think more importantly is, I would like to get the contract signed, or the lease signed, so it gives them the protection of having those 2 additional years under contract. Right now, they've been basically a tenant at will from the 17 to 2020 now. They're definitely entitled to it. They complied with all the terms and conditions. The only obstacle was getting the new document executed and determining the lease rate. If this was 3 years ago, I'd have a different tone. But right now, I mean, there's no way we can go up in rent, and the reduction of rent, Bob, that may get some scrutiny from downtown, but whether or not it's delayed in coming in because of a hardship, I think the commission has been very patient in the past, in 2008, 9, and 10, when we had a lot of tenants that were in deep financial trouble, and they all came back and made good on their obligations to the airport. I think the commission has a practice of working with its tenants that run into financial difficulty. But I just think at the very least, let's not go up on it.
Well, I would agree with that, and I don't have any inside information. I mean, the family, they're friends of mine, but I don't discuss their finances with them. I'm just concerned that as a going operation over the next 3 to 6 months, I fear the possibility that by the time they would come to you to ask for help, it would be too late.
Yeah.
I'm
I-
not asking that we do anything. I'm just asking that we think about
Taking
that.
consideration.
What if I reach out to them tomorrow and just make it clear to them that if they run into a period of difficulty or they see it coming, to come to us sooner rather than later?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know that they would, but I
Okay.
mean, they're proud people.
Yeah.
No, I know. And you know, that's why I said we support them. And we
Yeah.
all know, I mean, look at all the restaurants in Boston that are all closing, you know?
A third of the restaurants in the Commonwealth have shut down.
Right. And
Yeah.
you know, and we don't want to see that happen to them. I mean, we've, you know, we've supported them, they've supported us, and they've been very good. So yeah, Mike, just if you want, talk to the father or the son and just tell them that we have their back. And if like Bob says, if it comes down to that we will work with them.
Yeah.
I don't want to see them close.
Yeah, no one does. No
No.
one does. But okay, I'll express that clearly to them that we will work with them. And
Especially they'll know within the next couple of weeks if business has gone down or because now that they've moved inside, you
Right.
know, so they'll know more then.
okay. But I will make sure that I impress upon them that not to feel as though
Right.
it's a reflection of the business. It's the COVID economy,
Exactly.
so they need to express that, and we'll take it from there.
Exactly. Everybody
Okay,
agree?
Thank you.
All commissioners
Thank you,
agree?
Bob. Thank you, Mr. Manager. That was a
Yes.
great explanation.
Yes. Okay. Is that it, Commissioner Collins?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so can we have a vote, a motion to accept?
I'll make a motion, we accept Bill Collins's recommendation.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Dania, second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Collins. Great job.
Thank you, commissioners.
Okay, no table matters. New business. The approval of the MassDOT Aeronautics grant assurances. Mike, do you want to speak on that?
Actually, I think we skipped over the airport security procedure.
Oh, I'm sorry, we did.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You know why? Because Andre's not here. Airport security.
It's Dan Foley now.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
Wait a minute.
Where are you, Dan? There you are.
Right here I am.
Hi, Dan. Airport security. I'm sorry.
All righty then. Good evening, everybody. As of last month, the news was that our security project plans were in the process of being checked out by Stantec's quality control people. Since then, the report has been released. We have a copy of it, and the proposal has been released. Anyways, we have a copy of it, and another copy was sent to the state. Mike has been in contact with the state engineer, Owen, who's currently doing an IFE on it, which is an independent fee estimate, trying to check, if all the numbers are correct and acceptable. Once he's determined that, then it'll take some time to get the funding, probably not until next spring or so, but it'll go to the state for the funding. When they get it, it'll be sent to us. So that's it for now. And this is on the gate security procedures.
Anybody have any questions for Commissioner Foley on security? Mike, do you have anything to add on that?
No, I think Commissioner Foley summed it up perfectly. The set came out of the quality control, I guess I'll call that, and Dom can correct me later, from Stantec, and was forwarded to the state and to me. And actually just adding that Commissioner Foley and I will be reviewing the plan set. Probably there's an EFT site that Dominic has talked about where we can look at it electronically, or in an appropriate socially distanced COVID-19 protocol compliant manner. And then hopefully they will be able to get the funding. Again, this is all subject to the state finding the anticipated cost of nearly $1 million to fund these upgrades that we'll know more in January, February.
Thank you
That's it.
very much,
Yeah.
Commissioner Foley. So do we have a motion on the floor to accept the security procedures?
Motion to accept the security procedure by Danya Amador.
Second,
Second, Bob Irving.
all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Foley. Okay, now there's no table matters. And now, new business.
Thank you, Commissioners. In your package is the MassDOT Aeronautics grant assurances that are required to be executed, first accepted, then executed, to receive state funding for our electrical vault project. And the state funding is $68,544. So what I'm asking for is a motion to accept the grant, the state grant, and to authorize the chairwoman to sign the grant assurances on behalf of the Airport Commission.
I make a motion to accept the airfield electrical vault AIP project.
Do we have a
Great.
second?
Second, Dan Foley.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
We're not gonna go into executive session, so that's.
No.
Correct.
Airport managers report?
Commissioners, thank you. I'll be brief. So far we've made it before the council started. From the outset, all the staff is well. Christine's on the call, so you can evaluate that statement yourselves. Our other employee is doing well himself. Domingo, we do have an additional employee coming on board on Monday. The position for the airport maintenance position has been filled, thankfully, before the winter starts. So we evaluated the candidate, and he was an applicant from a previous round of interviews last year, and he was regarded highly by both Domingo and myself at that time. He just lacked the credential for the commercial driver's license. So this time around, he has it, so he will be a good fit, both in terms of personality and work experience. So we're very excited to have this opportunity to work with them. The electrical vault project, which we just accepted the grant assurances for, we had a conference call, and Dominic's on the call here. He can fill in what I don't cover. But we had a conference call with the contractor, and the contractor is excited about starting this work, but it probably won't start until after the snow is cleared in the spring. So we're thinking, depending upon the winter, February, March timeframe for that project to start. That project is a key component of getting the airfield lighting systems up and running. It's going to modernize it with new controls up at the control tower. But also, more importantly, it's being done, shouldn't say more importantly, it's also important to the new administration building project that their state is still moving forward with. So they have to relocate that vault further back, and it's going to be moved away from the anticipated location of the new building. So hopefully in the February, March timeframe, we'll see some construction going on that. And that will also enhance the airfield lighting circuitry, which will then hopefully finally bring the Echo circuit back up and running. That's been a problematic circuit out in the airport, taxiway Echo. The administration building had a meeting last Monday with not the Monday of this week, but previous week, with the state as well as the architects. The state wants to move forward. They are certain that it can be designed and they can find the funding to design the building. And they're confident that the secretary will see that it's a good building and worthy project. It's still in the queue. So they think that it will be funded for construction as well. If that does happen, they think the design will be 2021. And then bidding will take place in 2022, and construction will be done that year. In the late spring, probably May, June timeframe, early summer, they anticipate that 2023 would be able to have a new building. Now that assumes, again, that the secretary funds the construction costs, which have been running somewhere between $5 to $7 million based on issues that they run into at the site at some airports. But as I said earlier in this discussion a couple months ago, we're trying to go with a building that's already been built down in Plymouth, and that it is should be relatively easy to design at low cost. And our site is flat and level, and they've They've already surveyed it, and a lot of the engineering work that they needed to do as part of a feasibility analysis. So far, they have not discovered anything about a reason to have some cost overruns. Hopefully, this can come in at a price that will be palatable to the secretary, and she'll go forward with it. Christine mentioned the expenditures that we've had over the past month, some maintenance and repairs being done on the buildings and the equipment. We are all equipment is up and ready and snow ready. So when it does start to snow, we have equipment and personnel to put in it. So I'm very happy about that. And on a positive note, our activity at the airport is still increasing. Month over month, we are increasing in operations. And last month of October, we had 4,849 operations, which was 36% higher than the same time in 2019. So COVID has had a positive impact on the airport's business, which probably was not anticipated when the FAA gave us that grant.
Very good.
And that's it, Madam Chair. I'm available to answer any questions that anyone has.
And did you mention about the new employee?
The new employee, yes. Earlier I said the new employee will be coming on board on Monday. We interviewed him and the city rushed his onboarding process for us, which I was grateful. And he'll start Monday, and he comes with experience in custodial from the city of Haverhill. He was in the Haverhill school system for a number of years, and he has a commercial driver's license that we need.
Perfect.
Yeah, we're all excited about that.
I'm sure. Good luck. Thank you.
Thanks.
Any questions for the manager? No questions? All right, do we have a motion to accept the manager's report?
So moved, Dan Foley.
Second by Danya.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Commissioners. Okay, public comments. John, Bob, Irvin, who wants to go?
Yeah, I'll go first and then I'll pass it over to Irv, who will give you a brief update on the master plan. So I don't have a lot to add on the security upgrades project or the vault because Mike and Commissioner Foley covered that well. I think the only thing I can add on the security upgrades project is I pulled up the latest estimate that we have. Basically, we broke it out into, we have like a base bid, and then we broke out some additive alternates, which basically allows us to award some of the contract if we don't get enough funding for all of the work. And it kind of depends on what we get for bids from contractors. So what's included in the base bid is the basically the upgrading or replacing the access control system, upgrading the video surveillance system, as well as the wireless network that both those systems use to kind of talk to each other. So for that work, the estimate's around $350,000. And then once you add in the additive alternates, which would be to replace the loop detectors at the vehicle gates, which keeps the gates from closing on a vehicle, and then adding in the replacement of the gate motors to operate the slide gates, then you get up to around about 600,000. So the costs have come down a bit as we've refined our design. So that's a bit of good news. And so hopefully MassDOT will be able to find some of the funding or all of it to so that we can get this project done in the spring. So that's, I think that's pretty much it for the upgrades. We'll give Mike and Christine and Commissioner Foley a chance to review the documents as well as MassDOT. And then we'll schedule a meeting and go through their comments so we can revise the design as needed and get their comments incorporated. For the vault, I think Mike pretty much said everything I was thinking of. I don't know if Mike has is the contract all set, or are we still
No, still
Okay.
waiting on that. They'll get that and then get it back to me.
Okay, yeah, so once the contractor's contract is in place, then he'll submit shop drawings for us to review, and then he can order his materials. So he's ready to go. And he indicated, I think he's hoping to break ground either late winter or early spring, depending on when we get a thaw. And then lastly, the obstruction analysis. We submitted a draft a couple of weeks ago to FAA, MassDOT, and Mike and Christine, kind of like a progress set so they could see where we're at. Basically, all the drawings for that project is done, and the report is about I don't know, 80% complete. So we're gonna walk through that with Mike tomorrow to kind of look at what we have for penetrations to the airspace analysis, and then we're gonna move ahead on the recommendations portion of the report, which would be what penetrations need to be removed and what we may need for property easements to do that. So that's pretty much all I have. Can take any questions you have. Otherwise, I can pass it over to Irv.
Anybody have any questions for Dom? No? Thank you, Dom.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Good to see you all.
Same here.
I guess I'm up. Hi, everybody. I'm Irvin Deck.
Hi, Irvin.
Hi. Finally get to meet all of you.
Yeah.
They keep me hidden in my basement here. I'm never allowed out, so
Irvin, do you mind if I give an introduction?
I don't mind at all, Mike. Or do
Okay. Well, that all depends. Commissioners, Irv, we haven't dealt with Irv that often in the tenure, most of you, because he's in the planning, long-term vision side of Stantec, and everything he comes up with, the guys that we deal with most, the Dave Riches, the Dominic, and the Bobs, are building. So Irv was involved. I don't know how new he was to Massachusetts aviation consultancy, but back in the first master plan I was involved with in the early 2000s, Irv was relatively new to Stantec, working with a gentleman by the name of Jay Wood. So Irv has a long history of the development of this airport, and he has his fingers all over the original master plan that he's now updating. So he has some good insight as to what worked well and what didn't work. So we're very excited. I'm very excited to have Irv back spearheading this one, and look forward to the end result. So Irv has been someone who's been around the airport and worked for originally Dufresne Henry and then Stantec. Most commissioners aren't going to be familiar with them because his real deep involvement was back from 2001, 2, 3, and 4. And then when the new master plan was put forward, he became more behind the scenes guy, taking care of permitting and filings and stuff like that, based upon, correct me if I'm wrong, Irv, but the role that he has in his capacity working at Stantec. But a very good person, and looking forward to working with them over the next couple of years. Again.
Thanks, Mike. It's always a pleasure. I travel through Massachusetts a lot for other clients, and I always try to swing off 495 and pop in and see Mike and Christine. Such a pleasure to work with. And like you said, I started working there in the last master plan back in 2001, I think it was. So when I was younger and better looking, probably smarter. But anyhow, the master plan is finally underway after a lot of delay. But it's moving along. Without boring you with all the details, it's written in a series of chapters. There'll be 7 chapters to the report. We work our way through the process from the beginning and forecast what the airport we think will need looking forward 20 years. And so we're at the point now where we have written the first 3 chapters in draft version. It's just an introduction to the plan. And then the inventory of the airport as it exists today, and then forecast